You are about to witness bodily dismemberment, sub-zero temperatures, and all-out mayhem. Brought to you by the Frontline Network.
Sup, COH fans, and welcome to the 8th Company of Heroes 2 beta cast, brought to you by the Frontline Network, presented by me, FatalSaint, and my good friend Tommy. What's up, Tommy?
What's up, FatalSaint? Excited to be here on this Moscow outskirts map once again. It is definitely one of the more interesting 2v2 maps, not least because it brings back the classic cutoff system that was so prevalent in the original Company of Heroes game, and that was what really drove the games and made them so exciting, and that is precisely what this map is all about. It's all about those brutal cutoffs, it's about the fuels on the sides, and it's about this big VP in the middle, which just inevitably turns into an absolute bloodbath.
It just becomes a meat grinder after a while when both teams are fighting over that center VP, or you know, you also can see sometimes from this map, as we casted it for our second beta cast, sometimes the flanks are very, you know, there's quite a lot of heavy engagements on the flanks as well, fighting over those VPs and the fuels, which are both positioned on the further side to the right-hand side and the left-hand side of the map. So it's a really good map. I like it. There's no super apparent choke points, etc. You know, there's lots of flanking opportunities. You can come in from all directions at the same time, and it's just really, really cool. I really enjoy Moscow Outskirts. It's a good 2v2 map. Very, very good map. And we do have two teams today consisting of, on the Axis side, we got Neiki, or Neiki. Yeah, it's going to be Neiki now, and his teammate Pfusher. And who will they go up against on the Soviet side, Tommy?
They will be going up against DanielD and Titty Twister.
Mr. Twister, we've seen him in Vico. He actually played in the SNF4 tournaments, and he got fairly far, actually. And then he got knocked out by Alyash, I think. I can't remember who it was.
It went something like that, yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We are at the 5-second mark. Ready to go, Tommy?
I'm ready.
On pause in 3, 2, 1, on pause. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And we do have a bit of a mix from the Axis team. We do actually have Neiki building his tier 1 building with his first pioneers, not building another one. And we actually have Pfusher doing exactly the opposite, sending out his first pioneers without building his tier 1 building.
From Soviet players, I think it's going to be a double conscript opening. They're both sending their first combat engineers into the middle here. And interestingly, none of them seem to be making a beeline for the fuels, instead going out to a bit more conservative capping right down the middle. The first two conscript squads now hitting the field, and these guys actually appear to be going off to the edges, and looks like they're going to be going after those fuels.
Combat engineer from Twister is going for the munitions. Maybe they have something in mind. Maybe they want to go for quick Molotovs, or maybe they want that super quick flamethrower to lay in the hurt on the Axis team. You never know what players tend to focus on, if it's the fuel, if they want to keep taking and get vehicles and tanks, or if they want the munitions to start upgrading heavy weaponry on their infantry, or throwing grenades around themselves.
We've got the first pioneers moving into the middle to grab that VP, and that conscript squad just chilling out, capping a bit down here. So it'll be interesting to see what we have from the Soviet players, because so far we've seen a few different strategies employed in 2v2s with the double Soviets. We've seen some double conscript spam. We've seen some sort of one player goes for snipers and half-tracks while the other goes for the conscript spam, but at least one player seems to go for the heavy conscript spam. There is no, I don't think we've seen any sort of double half-track flamer sniper openings. So,
no.
And in a lot of ways, you know, that just makes sense to veterans of the original game, because, you know, you need that frontline infantry. You need some guys to be able to take the flak, give a little bit of damage, you know, be those damage sponges while the heavier support units get the kills.
Yeah, we do have a double grenadier opening for Neiki, and his teammate actually has an MG that suppressed a couple of combat engineers and forced them back. At the same time, we do have the VP on the right-hand side belonging to the Axis, but on the left-hand side belonging to the Soviets. So right now, the drain is not really on either team. They've only drained very few amounts of VPs. We do have a conscript engagement versus grenadiers on the left-hand side here. The grenadiers seems to be beating out these conscripts quite handily, forced to retreat at 3 men. At the same time, in the center, we do have an MG setting up for Pfusher, and that forces off another conscript squad, which actually uses URA to get out of the line of fire from that MG.
Oh, but they're out of the frying pan and into the fire, straight into the waiting arms of 2 grenadier squads.
Yeah, maybe not the best place to go, but he's obviously trying to deny the decap of these munitions and try to kill as many grenadiers as they can, but they are taking flag from 2 grenadier squads, and we actually have an MG and another grenadier squad also coming into the center now, decapping that VP. At the same time, on the left-hand side, we do have a little bit of a worker battle, combat engineers versus pioneers, and they did decap that VP, but they cannot cap it as long as the enemy infantry is stationary inside of that circle around that VP. You can't keep capping as long as there's opposing forces in that, and we did have a flamethrower upgrade in the middle of that engagement from Titty Twister, so maybe that was his plan all along, with that fast cap of the munitions in the center to get that very, very fast flamethrower at 3.5 minutes into the game.
Flamethrower is always very powerful in this game. Unfortunately, they've actually lost that munitions point, and the Axis players have actually kept quite a lot of territory using the MG42 to really lay in the hurt capping wise. But the right hand side is mostly controlled by the Soviets, including the very bottom right corner as well.
Yeah, I can see they're capping all the way up there, just outside of the Wehrmacht base, just 1 sector away from the base sector. But there is an MG now coming up for Pfusher, combined with some pioneers as well, but I can't actually see those conscripts right now. The pioneers are going to give some line of sight to that MG, and there's the burst, and there's the suppression goes in on that conscript squad very rapidly, actually. Let's see if they can get some kills on these pios before they are forced to retreat. No, wow, that was a quick pin for that MG. At the same time, we have a
very quick pin.
3-man conscript squad coming in from behind, but the MG is flipped,
and
this
that
is not gonna work. Retreat. Yeah. Low health, low man conscript squad, not gonna work against an MG, especially not when it's microed like that from Pfusher, and it's instantly flipped as soon as he saw those conscripts actually flanking. At the same time, I heard just a mortar now out for Neiki. It is bombarding that building with the conscripts on the right-hand side in the middle.
There were some interesting bits of German wire have been laid in sort of a few random locations. There's a
just
little
bit
sort of half built in the middle. There's another one half built near the church. It looks like at one point they were trying to sort of block off big flanking routes, but they didn't quite manage to finish it off.
The Soviets been in their face the entire game. They just keep coming back and back with these conscripts. The human wave tactics never cease to stop working for the Soviets, mainly. We do have the MGs trying to focus down conscripts that use Aura to get behind the green cover, and he's now running out of the arc of fire of that MG. He's chasing that mortar as well. He can't really decide on what to focus fire on. It seems to be the mortar which gets targeted right now. That MG is getting shot at by 2 conscript squads as well in the center. On the left hand side, we do have the first vehicle out for the Soviets. That's actually a light scout car, and I do believe that got fausted by 2 grenadiers, and it was so close to dying, but the flamers actually popped out of the half track and chased both of the grenadiers off. Stolen MG in the center now as well, when some grenadiers with an LMG upgrade is trying to come in and support, but it's too little too late, even though they get some suppression off with a secondary MG now. One MG was actually stolen.
There's a Soviet sniper out now from Titty Twister, going to start plugging away, and there's an Axis sniper out as well, so bit of KO2 sniper wars, I think, are incoming.
Very nice mix from both teams, I think. We did have Titty Twister go for that scout car very quickly. At the same time, we did have DanielD actually go for more of an infantry-based army right now. I can see lots of infantry all the field, all over the place. There's... how many conscripts does he have? 4? It's gotta be 5, maybe.
Well, Titty Twister went for 2, and then for the sniper and the half-track combo.
Might be that... I think that DanielD must have gone for 4 of them or something like that. We did have a half-track now. I do believe it got 18-nated. It is now chasing some conscripts on retreat, and the Soviet sniper is actually forced to retreat. There's the flamer upgrade as well.
We're getting rather used to seeing flamers on half tracks, aren't we?
Oh!
It seems to be the favoured strategy for Ost-tier players right now is to rush this half-track. It used to be, I remember in the alpha, all the S-tier players stood rush for the armored car because when you got the up gun, it became just super powerful. But now everyone just goes for this flamethrower half-track because it's just even more powerful.
Yeah, it might be some form of a reactionary metagame change, as a lot of Soviet players goes for these 4 conscripts, just like you would go for 4 riflemen in Vico. So maybe it's something like that. They want a really hard counter to the anti-infantry department. They need something to counter these conscripts, because if you get attacked by 4 conscripts at the same time, you know, 2 MGs and a Gren is not gonna hold.
And one thing that I have noticed is that, unlike in the original game, flamethrowers seem to do equal damage on retreat as they do against regular units, or if not equal, then at least very close. Because as we saw there was a conscript squad went down, even though he was retreating, and he started retreating at full health. So
they do a lot of damage, those flamer half-tracks. The Flammenwerfer is very, very powerful. At the same time, we do have the scout car now fully repaired for Titty Twister on the left-hand side, just decapping the fuel right there. And we do have DanielD going for the right-hand side flank. So it looks to me like the Soviet players are kind of abandoning the center now. They can't really fight off all of the support weapons, especially not with a Flammenwerfer supporting the MGs and a mortar as well, and a sniper. So now they're just focusing on the flanks, and that's going to force the Axis team to spread out and maybe, you know, go a little bit too thin and then get some massive attack with lots of conscripts and maybe a flamer half-track or a scout car with a flamer in it coming in at the same time. That could be devastating for the Axis team.
First guard squad is out now from Titty Twister, rolling into the middle. They have upgraded their DP light machine guns, so they are now packing 2 light AT rifles and 2 LMGs, making them a pretty potent anti-vehicle and anti-infantry force. It's going to be a good counter to this half-track with the ability to button it and then open up with the AT rifles.
And AT rifles are a very strong weapon against light vehicles like the scout car and the half-track from the German army. And you know, getting a guard squad fairly quickly as well at 9 minutes, because it does require, I think, 2 CPs for the guards, or is it 1?
Oh, and look at those. I believe the guards come at 2 CPs. No, they come at 1. They come at 1.
It's 1 for shock troops and guards, I guess.
Yeah, elite infantry comes. Whoa, AT gun opened up at the same time as the AT rifle. So goodbye, Flammenwerfer. Oh, do you see? Look at that. There was a flare pop by a Soviet sniper. That's what gave them the line of sight.
Yeah, I saw that actually hovering around in the air. The little mini parachute to give him extended line of sight, especially during a blizzard. I think that was a good investment of munitions there to get the kill on that Flammenwerfer half-track, because it is 120 munitions. It's very pricey when it comes to munitions. At the same time, the scout car on the left-hand side here, he's been avoiding these 2 Grens, and now he actually found a pack, but I do believe that there might be... No! It doesn't seem like Neiki's actually going to Faust that, and he gets the D-crew on the pack. At the same time, the guard squad is forced to retreat when they run into the line of sight of those Panzer Grenadiers. And there's actually a bunker now up as well from Neiki, and it is turning into a forward reinforcement point.
Ah, interesting. So, bit of forward reinforcement in a nice location here at this cutoff point should allow him to maintain hold of this cutoff and actually secure that fuel. But this flame half-track is reaping absolute havoc. It's down very, very low health. I mean, one burst from this MG or even the support gunners might kill it.
Just running around all over the place.
If he can just get out of there without losing it, he'll have done a great run. That flamer now sitting on 9 infantry kills.
Oh, it's so low health. Here comes an LMG grenade now from Pfusher. It might be enough to finish it off. Main gun destroyed engine. That thing is such a sitting duck right now. The MG almost gets D-crew, however, is forced to retreat, but that half-track finally explodes, ejecting those combat engineers just behind enemy lines actually now. He's kind of surrounded by everything.
And if you look there's actually a medic bunker has been set up by Pfusher as well.
And there's the stolen MG42 now going to work on the Panzer Grenadiers and those Pios, forced to retreat almost instantly. One unit used marked target on those combat engineers. I think it might have been the Grenadiers, I'm not exactly sure.
It was a couple of minutes ago. It lasts for a long time.
Okay.
I think it was there's Grenadiers actually going to hop the wall.
Oh, he needs to retreat the Flamer combat engineers. They are trying to get back to base, but they might get shot up on retreat. Most likely not. It looks like they're in safe hands right now.
But they actually dropped their flamethrower.
Oh, did it drop it?
Well, they didn't physically drop it, but they no longer have it.
Ah, okay. Oh, we do have.
Oh, is that artillery?
Yeah, it's the AT gun using its light artillery barrage on that on the mortar. I mean, just beneath the bunker, and those grenadiers just manages to dodge it very close to get hit in the face with a small rocket.
There it goes. Decrewed.
It actually destroyed the campfire there as well.
Well, that's going to be useful. The forward reinforcement point isn't so useful if your men are all freezing when they're trying to reinforce.
It's just gonna. You can reinforce the guys that dies from the cold, but it's not really worth it since you're gonna have to pay a lot of manpower to keep reinforcing guys if they just stand around freezing to death. Here we go, Vet 2 for the first Grenadier squad, and we do have a nice grenade thrown, destroys the green cover hay bale, and almost annihilates that Grenadier squad from Neiki. Is forced to backpedal away. Panzer Grenadier gets taken out by an AT gun when he's pedaling away. He wants to go back to the bunker to reinforce there, so he doesn't have to retreat all the way back to base. At the same time, some Flamer Pyos just got friendly fire killed, I think, by that P4.
This could be a real problem now if the Flamers get a decrew off in the AT gun, which is very, very low. One little burst of flame might be all it takes.
Oh, it was just not enough, and the Flamer Pyos are forced to retreat. We had 2 Flamer Pyos already, and it's not that easy to keep your worker units alive, the combat engineers and the pioneers, especially when the game goes past 10 minutes or so, and there's usually quite an overwhelming amount of infantry that can hit you somewhere. You can very rapidly lose a pioneer squad.
Great use of flares here again by the Soviet snipers. Look at this. Another nice use of the flare into the middle, giving him good line of sight over the center. It shows that it's open, shows there's no AT guns there, which is going to allow him to move up his infantry and his T-34s.
Yeah, this infantry force now, 3 conscripts moving into the center, and they do have T-34 backup as well. But there is a pack actually that is trying to get that T-34 out of the way so the German infantry can advance on these conscripts. But the stolen MG42 is really working against the 2 German players right now, especially Neiki, which I am following. These Grenadiers and Panzer Grenadiers are not having a fun time.
Might be down to this Panzer IV to decrew it at long last, but there's that AT gun creep as well, really putting on the pressure.
Those conscripts picked up one of the PTRS rifles,
They
I
did,
think.
actually, yeah, they did.
Oh, I hear a mortar barrage. That might be really good. It is going around that AT gun, and I do believe that that mortar, the Soviet mortar, was decrewed. The AT gun is down to 3 men and very, very low health. At the same time, another AT gun is shooting at an MG in the center with its light artillery barrage. And that P4...
Just disintegrated one of the members.
Yeah, the P4 is trying to get the conscripts away from the center, but there is AT gun support, so he's going to be forced to backpedal. 2 P4s now out, both with the Top Gunner upgrade as well. It costs a small amount of munitions to get that on your tanks, and it adds a little bit of anti-infantry capabilities on it. Oh, another barrage ability used on an AT gun. They're really using that a lot.
They are using it a lot. They're using that combined with the Soviet sniper flare to give them sort of a constant long-range accurate barrage. It's some really nasty stuff.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. We do have some Vet 2 combat engineers now. How is that bunker still alive? It's so low health now. It's gotta go down.
Now, though.
Yeah.
There it goes. Gets destroyed. Guards in the middle here, actually getting sniped by the pack one at a time.
Here comes the Panzer Grenadiers now. Gets Vet 2 for polish off that Vet 2 combat engineer. But they are now forced to retreat. T-34 taking hits from the pack, which is still at 3 men, but very low health. I think the guard squad is trying to kill him, but not really doing much damage to the infantry with the anti-tank rifles they have. Second T-34 now out from Twister. At the same time, the center is getting taken by an AT gun. He tried to cap that VP, but he just couldn't get the cap in time before the Grenadiers went into the circle of the capping point of the VP and stopping the cap for that AT gun and forcing him to relocate. At the same time, we do have the Axis team actually moving over on the right-hand side. He's trying to destroy one of the OPs that DanielD built. He built an OP, a munitions OP, on that further corner right-hand side strategic point. And at the same time, the Germans have actually taken both of the fuels now on the map. First tier 4 unit out for the Axis team, a Sturmpanzer, a Broombar. But there is quite a lot of AT from the Soviets. Second AT gun moving up behind the first one. I think he figured out there would be maybe one AT gun. I can handle that, but two is a bit too much to shoot for one Broombar.
Snipers opening up on each other's infantry, but still no counter snipes yet. Pfusher sniper with 18 and Titty Twister's Soviet sniper with just 7 kills, but he's probably been getting his money's worth anyway, if not through kills and through recon, with clever use of the little ability he has there. We got a T-34 trying to flank the Brumbar now.
Oh, but he's getting Fausted and shot by the pack. He couldn't really get behind it. It wanted to go circle strafe that Broombar as it doesn't have a movable turret. Getting circle strafe, the Broombar couldn't defend itself, but it did have reinforcements around him by the form of a Grenadier laying in a Faust on it, damaging the ending on the T-34, and then the pack was no match, or the T-34 was no match for the pack.
Oh, I hear a Panzerwerfer.
It's going to be all around these AT guns, I think.
Yeah, 2 AT guns in close proximity. Actually, they might just be out of effective range there. They're going to be okay.
I think it fired at almost basically maximum range, so the scatter was quite large actually. It didn't really hit anything.
So the middle locked down now with a lot of tanks being produced by Pfusher here, as well as his teammate. We've got Brumbars, Panzer IVs, Stugs, a lot of heavy armor with heavy weapons. Whoa, Stug actually just took out one of the spotters.
Yeah, the spotter on the Soviet sniper team goes down to the Stug and is forced to retreat. We do have some PPSH conscripts going into the center, but there's so much flame and LMG fire on them, they're instantly forced to retreat at 5 men. They're Vet 2, he wants to keep those guys alive and potentially get Vet 3 sooner rather than later. We do have an AT gun using that light artillery barrage again, forcing both of the flamer pyos to run away. Actually, both of the AT guns are bombarding the center now.
They're just constantly bombarding, aren't they? They're getting more usage out of them as an artillery unit than they are as an AT unit.
Yeah, the P4s don't really want to mess with the AT guns, as he knows there are several of them. There's not only the one AT gun, then one P4 and especially 2 P4s could handle that easily by just circle strafing it. But when there's several AT guns and T-34s, you know, with the possibility of getting rammed and then just get disabled just in front of an AT gun, you can't really combat that with P4s.
Here comes the Panzerwerfers right into the middle where all these AT guns and MGs are, but actually
the sniper almost died.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, almost. Very low health. Still at 2 men, but he's forced to retreat back to base. He just got back to the front line, took a Panzerwerfer rocket in the face, and then forced back again to get healed up. He's so low health, you know, so just a stray bullet from a Grenadier could kill him.
AT gun from the Soviets now opening up on the Stug. Stug opening up on the AT gun.
Yeah, and the Stug is kind of stuck because there's a medic bunker just behind him, but the AT gun doesn't actually have line of sight on the Stug anymore. And at the same time, a T-34 is circle strafing this Brumbar now. He's caught out a little bit out of position, but there is a new pack.
A pack there.
Yeah, a new
boy,
pack.
This could be bad. There's one big rear armor hit.
I think
that
that
Brumbar is blocking him now. Blocking his retreat path means he has to go forward.
I think that's actually the same pack from before. He just brought it back to base to get healed up.
There was a big hit from the Stug as well as he drove past. There's a Grenadier getting ready to Faust him now. Yep, he whips out the Faust. This T-34's reign of terror in the back lines might be coming to an end.
He gets 18-aided. Both of the AT guns in the center actually face the P4 now, is slowly trying to back away. Not getting lucky with the decrease on that first AT gun. But the Panzerwerfer barrage again. Or is that an off-map? I think that's a light artillery off-map. It had to be. Had to be used by Pfusher, I think.
Oh, T-34 goes down. It was chased down by the Brumbar and destroyed, taking a long time to go out of control. Finally, actually going down in the graveyard. How apt.
Now that's gotta be 2 Panzerwerfers now for Pfusher. They actually decrewed that AT gun. One of them was recrewed, however. We got a reconnaissance overflight used by Neiki actually on those AT guns. It's just circling around the battlefield. You can see on the minimap there's a small plane icon just circling around, giving line of sight to the Germans right now.
Got a male and female sniper combo in the field. Whoa, doing a lot of damage, taking out the entire of that MG squad. You actually see them on the second floor there.
That building,
After
and I'm
their
not exactly sure how that
sniper.
building's still... Oh, we do actually have a Stuka bombing dive somewhere. On the AT gun, takes it
Whoa.
out. Goodbye, AT gun. It's
I'm
just
looking
a
at-
carcass now.
Whoa, if you zoom in, you can see like arms and legs. Like you can actually see the arms and legs rolling around.
And now we do have the Panzerwerfers opening up again, basically on the same targets on that mortar and the MG. The mortar is decrewed, almost destroyed. The weapon health on that mortar is so low, just a tickle could destroy it completely. Those Panzerwerfers really laying in the hurt on the Soviet team. They're taking quite a beating now from the Germans.
We've got a bit of a weird conscript squad over here on the right hand side. It's armed with SMGs, but one of the guys picked up a PTRS as well. So they've got this big old AT rifle along with all the SMGs. It's a strange combination.
Very, very strange combination. We did have a Grenadier and a Panzer Grenadier decrew another AT gun, but there were conscripts with PPSH upgrades. And right now they're actually
Whoa,
shooting.
Tiger!
Tiger? Oh, there it
Tiger.
is!
Just suddenly, Tigers everywhere, rolling into the middle of the field, where I would say that there are a load of AT guns waiting to greet him, but there's actually nothing. There's
They're
no
all
AT
decrewed.
guns.
I now understand why Neiki went so fiercely for that one AT gun. Combined with the broom bar now, this is almost gonna be like an unstoppable force. He's got the Tiger to fight both infantry and tanks, and he's got the broom bar to decrew all the support weapons if the AT guns gets recrewed, which it might happen here. We got an AT nade thrown on that Tiger at the same time. One of the AT guns on the far right hand side of the center was actually recrewed. Another AT nade goes in on the Tiger, taking quite a lot of damage. And that AT gun that was decrewed before by the Panzer Grenadiers and Grenadiers is recrewed now, doing quite a lot of damage to these German tanks now. They might be forced to back away sooner rather than later.
Yeah,
Ouch.
that Tiger took a damaged engine from like one hit from a long-range AT gun. Seemed a bit unlucky.
Yeah, it was combined with AT nades thrown by the two conscripts.
Ah,
VPs are down to 248 for the Soviet team right now, so the Germans are ahead right now, but everything can change, especially when triple caps happen. The Germans actually only holding one of the three VPs right now, and is losing the munitions in the center now. The Pios were actually forced off after capping them. Gren with Vet 2 is moving out now, trying to stop these PPSH equipped conscripts. Uses the ability to hit the dirt to make them a little bit more durable. At the same time, Panzerwerfer went down and forced an MG to run away.
Kitty Twister has invested in a heavy piece of Soviet artillery. Look at that 152mm Soviet gun just outside its base. It is such a beast, that thing. Constructed for 600 manpower, no less.
I
But
think it's huge.
It is huge, and when it hits you, you know it's huge.
When it hits you, you never know anything again, because it's most likely going to tear you limb from limb, and that's just basically it. We do have an off-map use of some conscript on the right-hand side here. They're just capping good old strategic point. There it is!
Oh, wow.
Everything dying. That conscript squad was annihilated by an off-map used by Pfusher. And now the fuel point is gonna fall into German hands as a flamer pioneer from Pfusher is there to cap it up. And we do have the artillery barrage used. Oh, is that
Oh my god.
Soviet artillery?
I think
It's
that
gotta
was
be.
Soviet artillery, yeah, combined with the field gun artillery. That's a lot. The shells hitting.
Oh!
Wow. Pack gets blown to bits. Gunner killed on the Tiger. Bunker goes down.
And that mortar is still there, decrewed. The two snipers now from Twister is moving around, just wreaking havoc. It's a big problem for these low-man German squads to fight off double sniper teams. it looks to me like snipers are making a comeback. They're not like in Vico. You can't cloak them whenever you want to. You have to have cover for your snipers to cloak, and you know, it's just not the same. But at the same time, they're still very effective, just like in Vico on German infantry, especially if you get 2 or more, because the German infantry squads are generally only 4 men.
Exactly. So you're forced to retreat basically as soon as double snipers show up. I think, you know, especially when you've got these 2-man snipers teams from the Soviets, even though they're weak, they're very, very good against other snipers, obviously, because in order to get a one-hit counter snipe, the German player needs to have 2 snipers of his own.
Yeah, he needs 2 shots when the Soviet sniper team only needs 1, so they are a bit different.
But in saying that, they are balanced in other ways, like the German sniper has a longer range and a faster rate of fire.
Yeah.
So
he just seems
does balance
faster
out.
when he's running as well. I bet it's just my imagination, but it just feels like they're very quick, those the German snipers.
Could be.
Oh, some form of artillery firing somewhere. Oh, that's the Soviet artillery actually now firing on something. On the Stug and the P4 just hanging around, but they're not really getting a clear hit on them.
No, they backed out of the way.
Ah, it's firing on the center, okay. I see. We do have the Soviets trying to reclaim the right-hand side again. I think that the battlefield has been very fluid this game. You know, the right-hand side falls to the Axis hands, and then it goes back to the Soviets, and then the left-hand side goes to the Soviets, and then the Axis goes back and grabs that, and then there's a constant meat grinder in the center with lots of artillery raining down on all of these support weapons from the Soviets especially. Here comes the double Panzerwerfer barrage again. That AT gun just hit them. They were standing in the magic spot or something, because not a single rocket actually hit them. I think they...
Daniel, love it when that happens to you. There's a huge artillery strike coming and you think,
like,
oh,
no!
I'm done for here. But so we got 2 T-34s out from Titty Twister now. They're both rolling into the middle. And Event 3 conscript now from DanielD. 2 Event 3 conscripts, in fact. Very powerful indeed, although one of them only has 5 infantry kills and the other one has just 6 infantry kills. So
I've seen them throw a lot of 18-8s on tanks, so they've done quite a lot of damage. You don't really need the kills in Company of Heroes 2 compared to Vico, where you needed to get straight up kills. Now you just need the damage. Stuges gets taken out by an AT gun, which now is Vet 2. And as we saw in that last game... Oh! T-34 ramming a Tiger! He's trying to back away, gets a damaged engine, the main gun is destroyed, but the T-34 is immobilized, and there is a broom bar still.
This isn't good. This isn't good.
Gonna try to block him with the T-34.
It's very slow rotating. Driver injured, temporarily immobile.
2 18-8s goes in on the Sturmpanzer, the broom bar, and then there's an AT gun in the center shooting at it as well. Both the Tiger and that broom bar now is in deep, deep trouble. No AT support to count on either. There's a P4, but that's basically it. How is that broom bar still alive? Because the AT gun got decrewed by the Panzerwerfers.
Broom bar still alive, actually? That broom bar has literally no health.
The health bar is basically non-existent.
I can't see one. Normally you can see a health bar. I cannot actually see a health bar.
The P4 now rolls into the center just outside of the Soviet base, trying to find something to shoot at, as that AT gun got destroyed by the Panzerwerfer barrage. There is a new AT gun, however, but
maybe he's going after the artillery. I think he's going after the artillery.
Might be an off-map use on the artillery piece here if he gets line of sight on it. He should have gotten a line of sight on it there, but it's not actually used.
Yes, he was just doing
trying to get away.
Good old-fashioned drive-by.
Yeah, yes. Get me the hell out of here.
Is desperately trying to get away from this T-34, which has just been annoying him the whole time.
Oh, here comes the Panzer IV from the rear. Oh, AT used actually. There is a grenadier possibility to use a Faust on that first T-34, which is not used the ramming ability yet, and causes a damaged engine actually, but it still has its main gun. It could potentially still polish off, well, not only the Tiger, but the P4 is also very damaged. Oh, nice Panzerwerfer barrage on that T-34 that used the ramming ability and was immobilized. The combat engineers actually repairing it, got killed. Oh,
this Tiger it's taken so many hits. It must be going down soon.
Whoa, that was a huge hit from the
Big
P4.
hit. Yeah, that was a big one.
I think the T-34 just bounced on the rear armor of the Tiger. Who's gonna win? The Tiger gets taken out, and the T-34 loses its main gun, so he's not going to be able to kill the P4 as well. But I think that was a fairly large victory, killing a Tiger to sacrifice one T-34, potentially actually two now, as that Panzerwerfer barrage went down on the T-34. It was never finished, never repaired, it's still immobilized, and now the Broombar is back in action. Oh, almost kills the sniper with the splash damage. Those sniper needs to get the hell out of there. And they do.
That's not to say that they're safe, though. One hit from the Broombar, maybe? Nope. He couldn't reload in time.
Wow, one hit
my
almost
goodness.
kills the AT gun crew, however.
Broombars have been known to beat AT guns in a head-to-head fight.
I think during that massive confusion with the Tigers and T-34s, the Soviet artillery was actually taken out by a Stuka bombing run. A bombing
really?
strike. Yeah, it's
Oh,
destroyed,
wow.
and I saw that Neiki actually used his recon run to get line of sight on it and then bombed it.
That's smart.
You guys, listen to me if you want to live.
Inspire used on this guard squad to try and help it out versus the Vet 2.
Nice grenade!
Nice grenade. Whoa, very nice grenade.
Almost takes out the Grenadier squad. Vet 2 trying to retreat. He's got those LMGs firing on him. But he's actually going to get out of dodge, and that Broombar is... I can't believe that thing is still alive.
It's got a lot of health. It's got a lot of survivability.
Sure does, sure does. We do have the second P4 now on that right-hand side, trying to fend off two conscript squads, combined with a Flamer Pioneer as well from Pfusher. At the same time, we do have a Stug fighting an MG on the right-hand side, which has been guarding this VP here now, because the Axis team is finally actually below in VPs compared to the Soviets. 196 compared to the Soviets 230. Nice Werfer barrage all over the place, not really hitting anything.
Oh no, there's another T-34. He's found the Broombar in a very bad position now. There's no near AT. The only thing saving this Broombar is the fact that it has such heavy armor that it is bouncing even shots on its rear.
But it's so slow turning, so slow.
Oh, but all the repairing engineers get taken out by that conscript squad from Titty Twister using Hit the Dirt.
Focus firing down repairing units is always a good idea. It's always been so, ever since Vico. Wow.
Oh no,
No,
immobilized.
immobilized.
That's not good.
The P4 is just taking shots at him. Destroyed engine. Even if it gets its tread magically reassembled, he wouldn't be able to go anywhere. Now, no main gun either, and Panzerwerfer barrage going down. And the T-34 is abandoned. Potential steal for the German players here, because the Germans need everything they can get actually, because they've been losing quite a lot of territories quite handily to the Soviets now, which just has some form of a never-ending supply of conscripts to throw into the threads of the enemy tanks.
Yeah, it needs to be a move to get back into the field, but Blizzards can make that very difficult unless you play very tactically. Of course, at this point in the game, if you just look out over the field, where there used to be a ton I mean a ton of fires and campfires and things like that, there really is nothing. I mean, the center is literally one huge crater.
Yeah, the center, no way. There's not a single campfire around there anywhere. We do have some Vet 3 G43 Grenadiers on the right-hand side trying to fight off some Vet 3 conscripts with the PPSHs. He gets in the building, luckily.
And the conscripts are actually freezing to death, so...
Oh, yeah.
One guy goes down. Yeah, forces a retreat there. Very
Does that
smart.
Grenadier squad have a G43 and an LMG? I think they do.
Yes, I believe so.
That's a badass Grenadier squad. No wonder he's Vet 3.
Double snipers are still out from Titty Twister, now moving back into the middle. 15 kills and 15 kills and 15 kills. No, 15 kills and 18 kills.
It's quite a lot of kills, especially when you factor in how expensive German infantry are to reinforce.
Yeah, definitely.
And they're really stopping the infantry charges, especially the Flamer Pioneers, who have gotten quite a lot of veterancy, but they just can't get close to the center because of those two snipers. Now this P4 is in trouble, and there's a new Tiger on the field out from Neiki.
He's got to try and use his Tiger a little bit better than he used the last one. He sort of blitzed through a bit recklessly, got himself killed.
Now he got himself buttoned by the guard squad Vet 3, and we do have a conscript squad using Ura trying to chase down that P4, I think, because it's so damaged after taking multiple hits from an AT gun in the center. And that abandoned T-34 is actually still sitting around, yet to be stolen by the German army.
Here comes the Brumbar rolling very, very slowly up.
So this Tiger can get a magic hit on those conscripts, and it kinda does. 3 guys dead in 1 shot from that 88mm turret. The cannon of the Tiger.
They're actually pretty tough, you know, when they're using a hit the dirt ability against a single shot weapon like the Tiger or any tank really. They're pretty tough.
It seems to be you tend to miss when the conscripts hit the dirt. I think I'm not exactly sure of the exact stats of the percentages.
Well, it's more powerful than green cover, so.
We do have a scouting run used again. I'm not exactly sure on what. Might be on the snipers. Wow, the Tiger almost takes out one of the teams. Forced retreat.
Oh, I can hear artillery.
It's in the center. I can see the off-map icon or the indicator. It's one of those light artillery barrages again. It was used on the AT gun, but it was moved away. Looks kind of similar to, I don't know, the defensive barrage or something from Vico.
Oh, there's artillery everywhere.
And the recon plane is just flying around on the minimap, giving line of sight to the German army so they can use all of their off-map abilities. Germans now trying to stop the drain on the left-hand side by capturing that VP, but one of the snipers that wasn't forced to retreat due to the Tiger shooting his comrade is actually over there laying in the hurt on them. Combined with the PPSH conscripts, they get into the circle of the VP cap and hits the dirt, forces the Vet 3 Grenadiers away. Oh, loses the Gala retreat.
Is in trouble now. There's a AT gun at point blank range, but there's another off-map user right on top of it. This could be really horrible for him.
Oh, there's Vet 3 conscripts. Get out of the way! He's trying to run away. You can hear the artillery now coming down finally.
To get out of the way actually in time.
Wow, I think he just lost 3 guys though to that Stug and P4 on the crew.
Oh no, destroyed engine.
Oh, Panzerwerfer's raining down as well. His Stug might be able to survive. It does not actually. Gets taken out. Here comes the Flamer Pioneers. Try and kill them as well. Oh, he's gonna have to retreat those Pios though. Down to 1 man, gets taken out by the PPSH equipped conscripts at the same time. We do have that stolen MG42 forcing off some Panzer Grenadiers from Pfusher on the right hand side, as the Soviets are yet again reclaiming big parts of the map now.
We've got this very, very tough Vet 3 guard squad here. Over here on the left-hand side, forcing away these Grenadiers. It just seems like the Wehrmacht armies consist mainly of tanks and pioneers now, which is not the best combination when you're fighting elite infantry.
Most of the main infantry from Neiki at least is dead. He's got a Vet 3 Gren, but the rest is just Pios and tanks. So you are correct in that assumption, Tommy. Ooh, we do have a P4 with side skirts. That's the first time I see them with side skirts. You get them at Vet 2.
Whoa! Building goes down. It's housing at least 1 pioneer squad, maybe 2.
The P4 was actually taken
Soviet
out.
Artillery damages the exhaust on the Tiger, minus top speed. That's a big gun, isn't it? That's a very big gun.
Oh, we do have the new Soviet artillery.
On the Tiger.
If he gets line of sight with his scouting run. Yep, he does. He uses his off-map Stuka to try and take it out.
Whoa.
It's most likely gonna hit.
Tiger explodes. Soviet artillery takes it out. He just sat there.
So much for that Soviet
gets
artillery.
taken out.
Yeah.
That thing just got nuked.
An eye for an eye, I guess.
I don't know. I think I'd rather lose an artillery piece than lose a Tiger.
But it's 600 manpower.
Yeah, but the Tiger is about 500 manpower and about
200 fuel. Yeah, I guess.
Plus the munitions you spend on the Top Gunner as well. So.
Not exactly sure where this artillery went down on the guard squad trying to cap one of the points, but right now the German team is actually kind of confined just outside of their bases. They have 3 sectors apart from their base sector, They're trying to leave, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. The broom bar is still alive, running around. Oh, takes out the conscript squad in one hit, combined with the Vet 3 Grenadier squad. So at least a small victory for the German team right now. But they are lacking mainline infantry compared to the Soviets. They still have conscripts with veterancy, and they still have that sniper team. Double sniper team from Twister, actually.
Oh, Pioneer gets sniped on retreat there. The Germans need to get these VPs back basically now, or they are going to lose.
Yeah, one Pio squad is going for the VP on the left-hand side. At the same time, we have a second Pio squad going for the center VP, but that one is actually guarded by an MG in a small building and 2 AT guns, 3 AT guns guarding the center. And that's actually the game. They didn't manage to get the VPs in time. And he wouldn't get the left-hand side VP either way, because the two sniper teams from Twister was sniping them quite freely as well, combined with a PPSH upgraded conscript squad as well. So he would never get that one. At the same time, we did actually have a Flamer Pio Vet 3 trying to grab the right-hand side, but it was just too late for the Axis team to get any VPs back before losing the last few VPs they had in possession. So very nicely played from both sides. It was very fluid, especially on the flanks. It basically switched hand the entire games, back and forth, until eventually most of the German mainline infantry was killed. That's when the Germans actually lost their hold, I think. They were just lacking infantry capabilities, anti-infantry capabilities.
Yeah, the Soviet players did a very good job there. I thought it was gonna be curtains for them almost when the Tiger rolled out, and suddenly it was like, oh, there's no more AT. But no, they managed to pull it back.
Yeah, they managed to pull it back. Very, very impressive. Nicely played from Twister and DanielD. Also nicely played from Neiki and Pfusher. So thanks guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and tell all of your friends, and like this video, and we'll see you guys for the next episode.
See you guys.